Now that we have created the first question for our Python quiz game, let's insert some comments to the code to make it more readable. As you can see, the code so far is 24 lines of code. As our programs become longer and more complicated, it is a good idea to add notes to the code that describe what is going on. A comment is just a note we enter in our code. Let's add our first comment. Each comment must begin with the hash sign. Anything we type after the hash sign is ignored by Python. So let's add one comment here, just before the first question. Hash sign question 1, for example. That's it. If we run the code once more, we can see that the code works as expected. The comment is ignored by the computer, but it is useful for the person who is reading the code. Let's add another comment here. Hash sign correct answer to note the correct answer to this question. As you can see, we can add comments either in an empty line or we can add comments after we type a line of code. The main purpose of comments is to clarify what the code is designed to do and how it is being implemented by the programmer. Okay, now that we have added two comments to our code, let's add the second question to the game. The code for the second question will be the same as the code for the first one. We simply have to alter the question text, the three potential responses, and the variable indicating the correct answer. All we need to do now is to copy and paste this block of code. So I pick this section of code from the first comment to the end, and I copy it simply by selecting copy by clicking the right mouse button. Now I paste it below by using the right mouse button again and selecting paste. Now we are ready to edit this block of code. I change the comment here to question number 2. Then I enter the second question here and the three possible correct answers to the appropriate variables. As you can see, we don't need to create new variables for the second question. We are reusing the variables we have already created with the first question. The correct answer to the second question is A. So in the variable correct answer, I store the value A. That's all the changes we have to do for the second question and we are ready to test the code. As you can see, the code works as expected. After the first question, the computer asks us the second question and calculates the score correctly. Very cool, huh? Using the same technique, I create the third and last question of this simple quiz game. I just copy this block of code, I paste it below, and I change the questions, the possible correct answers, and I set the correct answer to the correct answer variable. Then I just enter the last print command, which prints the game over message and the total score. Print f game over total score curly brackets score. Our simple quiz game is now complete. It asks 3 questions and calculates the score. We used some of the most basic Python commands and we were able to make a quiz game, which is very cool. I'll put a link to the code in the video description in case you need it. Of course, this is not the ideal way to develop a quiz game. We did it with very limited tools. Check this out. Our code now has more than 70 lines of code. It grew so much. Since I like quiz games very much, I have developed an Android game called Quiz of Knowledge with more than 10,000 questions in 6 languages. If you also like quiz games, you can check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video. If a game with just 3 questions needs more than 70 lines of code, a game with 10,000 questions, how many lines is it going to need? And did I copy and paste blocks of code 10,000 times? Is that practical? Don't worry, Python and every other programming language has many more tools that allow us to do things better and more easily. For example, you may have noticed that we copied and pasted this block of code 2 times. We can avoid that simply by using a function, a topic that we will cover in a future video. By using a function, the code will be 2 times smaller in size, easier to create and to maintain. There are many more tools that we can use to make our life easier as a programmer. We will cover them all in future videos. This simple quiz game was just a fun way to practice everything we have learned so far and to demonstrate that even with simple tools we can achieve great results. I hope you enjoyed this little project and I'll see you in the next video where we are going to discuss a great tool of Python, lists. Until then, keep coding because practice makes perfect.